Good morning, guys. It is day 30. I'm sorry for the lapse, but we had a lot of rain yesterday. So I hope you're still staying with me. Today we're doing abs. We're going to start from a nice easy level and then progress. So you can follow along. I'll give you modifications when we get to the harder levels. And those of you who are working the harder levels can follow along with me. We're doing all abs. We're going to start with a half round back from a sitting up position. So your half round back is from your mat work, and we do this in the studio. It's a tuck under and half round back. You only go as far back as you can go with the feet staying on the mat. But again, I'll cue you the details as we get there. From there, we will add some rotation into that. We're going to then go on to lemon twist, either heels down on the mat or up, whatever's your choice. You can hold a prop, a weight, or nothing. Just work your rotation. We've done that a couple of times, so I've talked about the form quite a bit, but again, I will refresh your memory as we get there. Then we're going to go into the roll up. So it's a little bit harder, and some of you are using props behind your back for the roll up. Some of you are using flexi bands. Some of you are using weights. So you'll grab what you are most comfortable using to help you with your roll up. And if you're not doing a roll up because of a back issue, then please just stay forward and work continued half roll backs. You're getting a lot of good lower abs in that one. So that will hold you while we move on to the next exercise. Of course, they do get harder though. From the roll up, we are going to do the roll over. And it's a whole roll over while you're on your back. We've done that in a number of different variations, I suppose. Hands on the mat, hands overhead. So it's really all about abs. The last few are going to bring more body workout into it, but we've done a lot of arms and legs, so I thought we needed to go here. All right, we're going to start with the half round back. So if you have a flexi band and are working your flexi bands for the half round back, you're going to grab it and put it around your feet, and you're going to be ready to tuck under and round halfway back. If you're not using a flexi band, arms would be forward, and you're going to tuck under and half round back. Now remember with this is not leaning back. We don't want that flat back. You're curling the tailbone under and creating a posterior pelvic tilt. So that's what I want you to feel. Your head should still stay right up over your shoulders. Your shoulders don't project forward. You want to keep them stabilized and just work that lower ab. You will only go as far back as you can go while keeping the heels on the mat. This is not one where we would have the feet up off the mat, so don't try to do that. You're thinking about a lemon twist or a squeeze at that point, but that's not what we're doing. All right, I'm going to start with the flexi band. We will do 10. I will let go of the flexi band at 5. And continue for those of you not using a flexi band. Alrighty. You start by sitting up nice and tall on top of those sit bones. Get a good breath. Exhale. Tuck the hips under, roll off the sit bones, pull those lower abs, and come right back on top of them. And 2, and up, and 3, and up. Just pull in tightly. 4, and up, and 5, and up, and 6, and up, and 7, and up, and 8, and up, 9, and 10, and up. Adding a twist into it, you're going to keep one arm in front, you're going to tuck under, same position, but use one arm and twist and reach behind you, bring it back up, other side, and 2, and back. Longer lever, make sure abs and obliques work a little bit harder, and 5, and back, and 6, and return, and 7, and up, and 8, and up, and 9, and up, and 10, and return. Now you can feel the tension in my voice as I'm doing those. That's because I'm pulling in as hard as I can. I could do this really easily and not have any tension or change in the voice. So if you don't think you're working hard enough, try to talk through it. And if you can easily, then you're not pulling in hard enough. It's pulling in and up and back and up. Okay? We're going on to lemon twists. Many of you will know this. There's lots of variations. First things first, and most importantly, the arms will stay in a big round ball position. You're going to twist the upper body in one direction and the lower body in the other direction, but you're not going to squish this ball. Don't work the arms, don't get that. Just keep nose, hands, and sternum fairly much in line. You can keep your heels on the mat, which I'll do. You can raise your heels up off the floor, which will make your lower abs work a little bit harder. It's also a little bit more intensive on the hip flexors. You can hold a hand weight that will help bring you into rotation, but you don't need any weight at all. Just make sure you maintain the position of the big round ball. So you'll start up tall in your sit bones. Get a breath, tuck it under, just to roll off the sit bones. Pull the knees together and exhale to twist one way, knees go the other. And 2, 2, and 3, and 3, 4, squeeze, and 5, we're going to 20, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10 if your feet are up off the mat, 11, and 12, keep the knees together, 13, and 14, 15, and 16, 17, 18, and 19, and 20. Alrighty. Oh, stretch your back out. Even if your heels were on the mat, you may take a little bit of that into your back. So stretch it out. Deep breath into the upper back. And stack the spine up nice and tall. All right, we're going into our roll up next. Now, many of you have done the roll up in the studio. We've all done it in different ways. Either straight up, all the way down, all the way up. That can be a little bit hard if your lower back is tight. Some of you have used a small ball or the porcupine, as I say, behind your back. So if you need something, grab a pillow and just put it back about where your thoracic would be when you roll down. Some of you are using a flexi band, which is a great way to do the roll up because you can focus on the articulation. Some of you are using hand weights, and if that's where you are, go for it. I know, Paula, you hold those hand weights close, so go for it. But go to wherever you need to be so that you can execute the roll-up in good form and nice and safely. I'll start with the flexi band. You'll be sitting up nice and tall on your sit bones. Legs together, nice and tight. You want the inner thigh. Your feet are dorsiflexed, meaning you're not pointed. You want to be able to press your heels down into the mat. Shoulders down and stabilized. Get a good breath. Here we go. Exhale, tuck it under, roll off the sit bones. Pull in those lower abs. Keep the glutes tight as you're down there, even if the quads lift. Get a breath, pick the head up, round everything forward, stretch, and stack it up. And 2, and down. Get a breath, and reach, and stack it up. And 3, and up, and pull, and stack it up. You will move along your mat a little bit, so adjust as you need. Tuck it under for 4. Press off the small of the back, round forward, stack it up tall. Keep the shoulders in the same place the whole time. Up and round forward and up. And 6. Tuck it under. Keep those glutes fired up. Up, look to the feet. Round forward and stack it up. And 7. And up, look to the feet. Round and press and stack. And 8. Curl it under. Don't lean back. Up and reach and stack. And 9. Head up, look to the feet and reach and stack. And last one, tuck it under, pull in those abs, roll that spine down, get a breath, pick the head up, round that spine forward, get a good stretch forward, big deep breath into the upper back, and stack that spine up nice and tall. All right, good stuff. Remember, when you're stacking your spine up tall, yeah, you want to be thinking about lifting the spinal column, but you're lifting the whole rib cage up, not by shifting the rib cage forward so you get that arch. You're just lifting everything up and trying to create more space in between all of those discs. All right, your roller. This is definitely a harder exercise. So if you're doing your rollover, again, you'll either do it with your hands on the mat beside you, out to the side, behind your head, which gets them out of your way and makes your abs harder, or you'll hold a weight behind your head. We've done that in the studio. Maybe you want to, unless you're really comfortable and have done that many times, maybe you don't want to do that. But if you've done it before, go ahead. But I guess a predecessor for that one is a hip lift. You would be lying on your back. The goal with the roll over is to work more of the lower band of the abdominals. You'll still work the whole rack of abdominals, but it's from the lower band first up and down. And if you can't get all the way over, then the first thing you want to be doing is your hip lift, which we did again in an earlier video, where your feet would be in the air, crisscrossed, and the knees a little bit open. Hands on the mat, and what you're trying to do is lift that tailbone just a few inches off the mat. You're not trying to go any forward or any higher than that. because you're trying to build up the strength in those lower abs. You could always have a pillow or a porcupine, as I use in the studio, under the small of your back. So if my hands were such, it would just lift your tailbone up a little bit more, so that will give you a little bit more lift if you're having a hard time with that one. We're going to go into the straight roll over. I'm going to start with my hands on the mat beside me. Again, if you're used to doing this in the studio with in a different variation, arms out, arms overhead, or holding a weight overhead, then grab your prop. Otherwise, your hands would be on the mat. I'm going to see if I can just move along in the variations as I do this. So legs at tabletop, hands on the mat. Get a good breath, and on the exhale, extend the legs out to a long diagonal. Inhale over, exhale to pull. Bring those legs about parallel to the floor. Flex the heels. Don't drop those legs. Keep them up. It makes your abs work harder. Exhale as you push out through those heels. Control your roll down. Bring those legs to a long diagonal. Softly point the feet. Inhale to start. Exhale up and over. And flex and push out through those heels. And control your roll down. Softly point. 3. And exhale over. Flex. Exhale as you start your roll down. Pull those abs in tight. Softly point. One more. Inhale to start. Exhale over. Flex. Push out through those heels and control the roll down. I'm going to pull my legs into tabletop. You can rest. I'm going to grab weights for those of you who are doing a little bit more of a challenging variation, so I can do it with you. I've got hand weights. I'm going to hold them overhead behind me. Oh my God, we'll see how we go with this one. Or you can keep them on the mat. It will help you come over. In fact, maybe I'll do 2 in the mat and then the last 3 up in the air. Get a breath, extend. Inhale to start. Exhale over. Don't go into the mat. Push out through the heels. Exhale, control your roll down to a long diagonal. Softly point. Inhale to start. Exhale up and over. Push out through the heels. Exhale, control that roll down, long diagonal. Point. Inhale to start. Exhale to pull. Flex. Push out through those heels. Control your roll down, long diagonal, knees into tabletop. So I'm going to change here. I've often done this in the studio where we're holding a weighted bar. I don't have it at home, so I'm just going to use these 2 as my weighted bar. It's very challenging because you still have to do your roll over, but you have to control your balance. Just don't hold that weight so much over your face that you could perhaps drop it in your face. I wouldn't want that. All right, get a breath. Exhale, inhale to start. Exhale over. Push out through those heels. Control the roll down, long diagonal, softly point. Inhale to start. Exhale over. Push out through those heels. Control the roll down. One more for good luck. Inhale to start. And push out through those heels. Control the roll down to a long diagonal. Pull the knees in. And roll up. Alrighty. So there's, what, 5 ab exercises you can do in a row if you just want an ab workout. Don't do it outside when the mosquitoes are out, morning and night. At any rate, okay, so today is day 30 I'm going to continue. I don't know how many more days we'll be in lockdown. Probably at least another week. So give me some ideas as to what you would like to see. If you haven't seen something that you want to work on yet, or if you're having a problem with a certain exercise, shoot me a text and I'll do a specific video on that, because if you're having a question, probably somebody else is too. Alrighty, I hope you ladies had a great Mother's Day yesterday. I will see you tomorrow.